Welcome student. Today I am going to discuss the new concept and new chapters about our knowledge on in the platform of the physics point. Today I am going to discuss the general science. This concept will be starting from the Maharashtra State Board up to the students in the standard, that is 5th to 6th standard, up to the higher level educations. This concept or this chapter is most important of all types of the competitive examinations like the SSC, like the MPSC, UPSC, and all different types of the competitive examinations and such examinations which are specialized on that particular subject. Consider the SET, NET, all these are help. This concept is help to solving the all such types of the questions which are comes in these types of the competitive examinations. The general science are also classified in the three or four different types. First one is a physical science, chemical science, and life science. The first physical science, it is also known as the physics. Chemical science is also known as the chemistry. Life science and environmental science is also known as the biological or environmental science. Today's lectures we are discussing the first part, that is the first one types is the physics. In these chapters we are just known about the basic knowledge about the concept, that is physics, or the first part physics, and what is the definition meaning of that physics. And today we are going to discuss the two types or two basic concept of the physics, that is first one is the what is the physical quantities, types of the physical quantities. After that, motion is the most important concept which for all types of the competitive examinations, a lot of questions will be asked on the motions in all such competitive examinations. First, the definition of the physics. It is the branch of science. It is the branch of science. It is the branch of science which deals with study of which deals with the study of matter, energy, matter, energy, and interaction between these two, matter and energies, and interaction between them. This is the first definitions of the physics. Physics, it is the branch of the science, or it is the branch of general science which deals with the study of, that is matter. It deals with the study of matter, energy, and interaction between these matter and energies. This is the definitions of physics. What is the definitions of chemistry? It is deals with the study of chemicals and interaction between the chemicals and the reaction properties of that particular chemicals. Again, what is the biology? It is a branch of science which deals with the study of living organisms, cells, interactions of that cells and living organisms, growth, any other things in the science or general science. Let us start without wasting the time the first chapter, that is physical quantities. Physical. What is the physical quantity? Every measurable things in the whole over universe, this is known as the physical quantity. Everything. The weight of human can be measured. This is the physical quantity. The force applied on any object, the object changes their shape, size. This is also the physical quantity. Force is also the physical quantity. The lights come from the sun to the earth. The speed of that particular light, it is also the physical quantity. The lights come from the sun to earth having taken certain times, the time is must be physical quantity, because the time is also measured in the second, minute, and hours also. It means the definition is everything in the universe which are measurable, every measurable things, every measurable things in universe, in the universe, these are physical quantity, that is short form PQ. What is mean by the physical quantity? Every measurable things in the universe, this is the physical quantity. The volume, the air will be suspended in the particular parts, and the volume of the air will be also measured. The air volume, the volume of that particular air is also a physical quantity. Everything is physical quantity which can be measured. Then mainly these physical quantity are classified in the two different things. One is a dependency on each other, another one is the explanation of the such type of the physical quantities. First one, we have discussed the dependency of the physical quantity. On the dependency, we are again classified this physical quantity in the two types. One is the fundamental physical quantities, that is the fundamental, that is physical quantities. The such physical quantities does not depends on any other physical quantities. There are seven physical quantities. One is the length. Another one is the time. Third one is the mass. Fourth one is current, electrical current. Fifth one is the temperature. Again, sixth one is luminous intensity. That is luminous intensity. And last seventh one is the amount of substance. For the explanation this such type of the physical quantity, we does not depends on other physical quantities. Whenever we discuss the second types of the physical quantity, then can we understand the first types. And these physical quantities, fundamental, derived and supplementary, these third all physical quantities discussed whenever we are talking about the first chapter of 11th standard physics, that is units and measurement. The first lecture on the 11th standard physics Maharashtra course. You must watch out this lecture. Length we can be measured the distance between the two objects. This is must be length, and the unit of that length is meter. Unit of length is meter. What is the time? Time is the fundamental physical quantity. For the explanations of time, we does not need any another physical quantities, and time is measured in the second. This is the SI unit of the times. And mass of the particular things, these are also measured in the kilogram. Current is also measured in ampere. Ampere is one of the name of that scientist which are discovered, which are explained about the current. And for the remember of the scientist, we can call the current is a unit of current. Then temperature, that is Kelvin. Luminous intensity, candelas. CD, it is the candela, it is not a name of any scientist. Then amount of substance, which is measured in a mole. These all such types of the physical quantity which could not be depends any another types of the physical quantities. The second, whenever I told before 2 to 3 minutes, when we discuss the second types of the physical quantity, then we properly understand first physical quantities. Second is derived physical quantities. Derived physical quantities. A physical quantity which totally depends on the fundamental physical quantity. They are independent. And these are dependent. The physical quantity which totally depends on the fundamental physical quantity, this is known as the derived physical quantity. For examples, the velocity. For the explanations of velocity or speed, consider the speed. For the talking about the unit of the speed is meter per second. Meter per second. The meter is the unit of length. It must be length is the fundamental physical quantity. Second is the unit of the time, and time is must be fundamental physical quantity. For the explanations of the derived physical quantity is speed is one of the example of derived physical quantity. For the explanations of derived physical quantity, we must know, we must have the knowledge about the fundamental physical quantities. This is the length upon time. That is the length upon time. And length is also the fundamental physical quantity. Time is also the fundamental physical quantity. Again, one another example, that is force. Force. Whenever we discuss the Newton's law of motion, force is equal to mass into accelerations. Mass is mass of the particular object. Mass is also the fundamental physical quantity. Acceleration, change in velocity with respect to time. It means the acceleration is equal to meter per second square. And also meter is the unit of length, and length is must be fundamental physical quantity. Second twice. The second is must be unit of time, and it is must be the fundamental physical quantity. Then another extra two types of the physical quantities. These extra known as the supplementary physical quantities. Which one is supplementary physical quantity? Supplementary physical quantity have only two types of the examination. The examples, one is the solid angle, another one is a plane angle. Plane angle and solid angle, these two physical quantities, they are included in the supplementary physical quantity. Third type of physical quantity. Let us recall all of these. The physics, it is the branch of science which deals with the study of matter and energies and the interaction between the matter and energy. This is known as the physics. And we have discussed the first chapter, that is physical quantity. Every measurable things in the all over universe, this is known as the physical quantity. These are the physical quantity. Every measurable things in the all over universe. Then we discuss the types of physical quantity on the considerations of dependencies. Dependencies, how many physical quantities depend on any another physical quantities, and what types of these. The fundamental physical quantity, there are independently. There are mainly 7 physical quantity. That does not depends on any another physical quantity. अशा 7 physical quantity जे कुठल्याही another physical quantity वर depends नाही आहेत, त्यांना आपण म्हणतो fundamental physical quantity. There are basic physical quantities. Another one is derived physical. Derived it means तयार झालेले, नवीन तयार झालेले physical quantities, आणि याला dependence म्हणलं जातं. This depends on the fundamental physical quantities. This is known as derived physical quantities, or the physical quantities which are derived from the fundamental physical quantities is also known as derived physical quantities. And last one is the supplementary physical quantities. They are extra types of the physical quantities. Let's start the next type or next concept or next chapter. This is the motion. Firstly, just draw the concept map about the motion. What we are discussed in these lectures under the chapters of motions. The motions and static. What is the motions and what is the static? The object. First we discuss the static object. The object which are under the steady state doesn't change their positions. This is known as the static object. Don't changes their position. Don't change their position. Me as an object, when I will be traveling continuously on in the to or from motions, then I will be changes my positions continuously with respect to time. When I will be standing here properly, doesn't changes my positions. I am in the static condition. Static, it means it don't change their positions. Object doesn't changes their positions. These object is known as static object. These object is under the consideration of static object. Another one types, that is the motions or dynamic. Another one is motion or dynamic. It exactly complement of the static. Motions or object in the dynamic. The object which are continuously changes their positions with respect to time. I am continuously walking in front of the cameras or in front of the books or in the lectures. Then I will be continuously changing my positions because I am in the motion. That's why I am in the motion. Changes the positions, changes their position with respect to time. I will be taken some times to changing my first initial position to the final positions or point A to the point B. Consider I have here standing here and I will be moving another places, that is B. I required certain time to traveling the point A to the point B. This is means that I will be changing my positions with respect to time. Changes their positions, changes their positions with respect to time. This is called as the object under the motions or object. There is dynamic objects. Then in the motions, whenever I will be passes, whenever I will be changes the positions, point to A to the point to B, I have covered a certain distance. This is the covered certain distance. But how many possibilities to travel moving or reaching the point B from the point A? This one another possibility. Say the point path 2. This will be third possibility. This is the first possibility. Let's say part 1. This is the third path, third possibility. And another one possibility is this, I think, say 4. These are also distance between the initial and final position. This must be also the distance between the initial and final position. And third one is must be distance between the initial and final positions. But all these are also distance. But one important thing is the new concept will be born. New concept will be born in the particular concept, that is the displacement. What is the displacement? I will tell about it. First concept, that is the distance. The path length between the final and initial positions. What is the definition of distance? The path length between final and initial position. Between the final and initial, the path length between the final and initial positions. What is the unit of distance? The unit of distance is must be equal to the unit of length. It is the length. This must be length, and the unit of length is meter, as the unit of the distance is must be meter. The unit of distance is must be meter. Then I will be talking about the another one concept, that is the displacement. What is the displacement? Displacement, Vistapan. What is the displacement? The all such possible things or possible paths to reach the final position from the initial position. These all are the distance. But what is the basic difference between the distance and displacement? What is the basic difference between the distance and displacement? This basic difference must be, this is the this basic difference between, this is the total path length, but the straight line distance between the initial and final positions, and the straight line is must be shortest. The straight line distance is must be shortest, as we call shortcut distance. The straight line distance between the initial and final position, or the shortest or the smallest distance between the initial and final position, this is known as the displacement. The straight line distance, the straight line distance between initial and final position. Initial and final positions is called displacement, or also the shortest distance between the initial and final position is also known as the displacement. The one concept will be missed here. This is the another one types of the physical quantity which are discussed in the next lectures. But I will be said roughly. The distance is the scalar quantity and displacement is the vector quantities. Because whenever we talking about the shortest distance, it must be required to showing the directions of the length or directions of the path. This is the we need to explain the displacement. I need the path. When I will be standing here and moving towards the left, when I will be standing here and again moving towards the right, this is the shortest distance. Again I will be moving like this in the long path to the left and to the right. But whenever talking about the distance, we doesn't have any knowledge about the directions. But whenever we talking about the displacement, it is the shortest distance. But towards to left or towards to right, it must be important. These things will be directions. When the physical quantity to require needs or required both magnitude and directions, when the distance between the final position B from the final position A or the first path will be 5 meters. This is the magnitude. This is a numerical value. But having the directions, I will be moving left with the 2 meter distance. I will be moving right with the 2 meter distance. This is the displacement. With explaining both magnitude, it means the numerical values as well as you showing the directions. This is known as vector physical quantities. Vector quantities, the unit is as the same because this must be a length, distance. This must be distance. Every displacement is a distance, but every distance does not a displacement. In the first chapters or in the first concept is A to B. A पासून B जेव्हा आपण concept मध्ये बघतो A पासून B पर्यंत जाण्यासाठी काहीतरी डिस्टन्स असते. पॉसिबल ऑल पॉसिबल पाथ्स आहेत 1 2 3 4 या सगळ्यांना आपण डिस्टन्स म्हणतो. बट पर्टिक्युलर A1 लाच आपण बिकॉज दिस इज द शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टन्स यालाच आपण डिस्प्लेसमेंट म्हटलं. पण हा डिस्प्लेसमेंट असू शकत नाही. बट the question the path one is must be distance. Ha ka distance, it means every displacement is a distance, but every distance does not a displacement. Another one thing, another one concept, that is the speed. Third one, speed. Whenever we are traveling and watching the speedometer on the bike, on any vehicles, they shows the speed of the particular vehicle. They show the speed of that vehicles in the form of meter per second or kilometer per hour. Maximum times the vehicle shows this types of the distance. This is the must be the, it is the distance, it is time, distance per unit time. A vehicle is moving from the positions A to B or changes the name of that particular position, that is P to this point P to the point Q, and moving point P to the point Q having the certain speed. It means the vehicles are traveling or covered certain distance with respect to time. It is the vehicles covered distance. It is the ratio of distance and time. The rate of covered distance with respect to time, this is called as a displacement. This is called as the speed of that particular vehicle. The rate of change of their position, the rate of change of their positions with respect to time, this is known as a speed. And this is also the unit of the speed is meter per second. This is the standard unit or SI unit. This is the another types of the units. Kilometer per kilometer per hour. It is the another one types of the units. Then third part is sorry, fourth one is velocity. Fourth one is the velocities. The rate of change of displacement with respect to time. It is the distance with respect to time, and it is the displacement with respect to time. The rate of change of displacement. Rate of change of displacement with respect to time is called as the speed, or is called as the velocity. What is the basic difference between the speed and velocities? The unit or the ratio or the equations or the formulas of the speed is the distance upon time. But the formula for the displacement, it is, please highlight this particular equations, this particular formulas, distance upon time. The speed is the distance upon time, but the velocity is displacement upon time. This is write the whole words displacement. The distance upon time, the velocity is the displacement upon time. Please highlight the both equations or both formulas for most important to discussions of these all such types of the questions which are comes in these all types of the competitive examinations. Velocities and speed. The speed is the scalar quantity. Speed is the scalar quantity, and the velocity is the vector quantity. It means the whenever we talking about the velocities, we are showing the speed or the numerical value, speed of the vehicles as well as the directions. My vehicles is traveling the 50 kilometer per hour speed. 50 kilometer per hour speed towards Q from the P, towards to point Q from the P. This is the velocities. But whenever talking my vehicles is traveling with the speed 50 kilometer per hour, doesn't know about the directions. This must be the speed. Okay, let's type the new concept, that is accelerations, in the next lectures. The next lectures we are discuss about the accelerations and the another one types of the physical quantities. Okay, this important formula will be written here. The distance is equal to speed into time. Speed into time. This concept will be on the basic of this formula. A lot of questions will be asking all types of the competitive examinations. A vehicle is moving from point A to the point B. They travel the 50 kilometer. They travel the 1000 kilometer in the 10 hours. Calculate the speed of that vehicle. This must be the questions basic on these formulas. And also the displacement. Displacement is must be equal to the velocity into time. This time is comes in another sides of the equality sign. It changes their operations. The time is divided with the distance. Whenever it comes in opposite sides of equality sign, then there changes their operations. If the divide असेल तर इकडे आल्यानंतर काय होतो multiply. That is distance equal to speed into time. Displacement equal to velocity into time. This most important things will be most important formulas which are useful for solving of the questions which are comes like this type of the competitive examination. In the next chapter, we will discuss the second types of the physical quantities or second classifications of the physical quantities and the accelerations. The another one concept is the accelerations, types of accelerations. Again, we discuss the Newton's laws of motion. Okay.